All right, it's been a rough couple of days here to start the new year in 2024 for Japan. First, a massive earthquake, and now this plane crash. Japan, we all know, as this wonderful tourist destination, great travel, whether it's the bullet trains, the cherry blossoms in Kyoto, some of the amazing street food, or just the bustle of Japan. But right now, we've been dealing with this massive earthquake that hit just off the west coast near the city of Niigata. And initially the tidal wave, the tsunami warnings, was the what people were thinking was the great threat. However, it seems now that these waves were fairly small, and indeed the true threat has been the fires and the collapse of buildings. I believe the death toll sadly is already close to 100, and more than 10,000 people have been displaced. All right, so let's take a look at what's really happening over there right now. So on January 1st at 8 in the morning Central European time, so it was probably about 5 in the afternoon in Japan, 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit just west of Niigata. And the USGS website has a really fantastic map and data set here to look at this. You click on that dot, it does pop up this window here where all of the detailed information about the earthquake will come up. Opens up a new window for you, and it takes you over to a really interesting set of maps and data sets, including this interactive map, which shows the epicenter in the center here in this red area, and the dissipating force as you move away from the epicenter. Let's see what other maps we have here. We have the actual the regional information. So an awful lot of earthquake activity. Of course, Japan known for that. But you can see the star, the current one, and the historical ones. Of course, Japan had a massive earthquake back in 2011. We can look at the shake map here, which is a really neat little heat map with the different categories from not felt all the way up to extreme. The epicenter, again, being the star here. And then one of the other ones I thought was really interesting was the nearby seismicity, because the USGS maps really only give you 30 days of global large events. But if you click into the region you're in on this map through this local seismicity, you can go in and see just how much happened in the last 36 to 48 hours. So a tremendous amount of activity, and you just keep zooming in. It's all based off of this Ishikawa Peninsula, right across from Niigata up here in east northeast of the epicenter. And I think this is why the initial concerns about the tsunami happening were so large. Fortunately, there have been waves and surges up to 3, 4, 5 feet. But generally, I think they just lifted the tsunami warning. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any major effect of that. One more view here I did want to look at. The tsunami here. So the tsunami warning system, just to see what we've got there. Do have the one earthquake information pop up here. But again, the warning, advisory, and watch have been lifted. So there's actually no color from the legend on this right now. So I'll put a link to this website down in the description below, but it's a really great way to follow the detailed data around these large-scale events. So how does this all tie into the crash in Tokyo at Haneda Airport? Well, it appears that a Coast Guard plane that was supposed to be bringing supplies to the earthquake victims near Niigata crashed with an arriving plane, JAL 516, that was coming from Hokkaido Island in the north of Japan to Tokyo. And that as the Japan Airlines was on final approach and landing, it did make contact with the Coast Guard flight, causing the fire on the plane. The incredibly great news coming out of this is that the 379 people apparently all got out of the plane before flames engulfed it completely. Now, here in Haneda Airport, we can see the spot down in the bottom right. 34R was the runway. Most of the views from the terminal that we're seeing are kind of looking out towards the east, southeast here, as the plane was coming on final approach and landing on 34R. So the angles show that that's probably where the contact took place. And the Japan Airlines flight was an Airbus A350, again with 379 total passengers and crew on board. Now, apparently within a minute or so of the contact and the landing, the captain was able to get the plane to a place where the safety slides could be deployed, and people were queued up and ready to go, knowing that this was a serious emergency, and they were able to use those evacuation slides and get out. Some truly stunning footage here of the plane, and how much fire there really was. Now, I don't know if that's because this plane had so much fuel on board. It's a fairly short hop from Hokkaido to Tokyo. It could be that it was fuel from the Coast Guard plane that they made contact with. Sadly, it appears that 5 crew members died. So this is breaking news. This happened just a few hours ago. And stay tuned to your favorite local media to see how this develops over time. Thanks for watching, and let's just pray for these people that it's not any worse than what we've seen. Again, 379 people safely evacuated from the plane, and 5 deaths from the Coast Guard plane that made contact with the JAL Airbus A350.